Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Of course, Bayern Munich face Arsenal tonight in the Champions League. But before we discuss the starting 11, which of course will be announced soon, it's a big night in football, of course it is, but there are bigger things than football. And very, very tragically, Deep Saha, aka Angry Rantman, big Chelsea fan, of course, a big person in the football media space, football fan media space, has sadly passed away. And everyone at AFTV just wants to send their condolences to Angry Rantman. Rest in peace. All right, let's get back to the big game tonight. It's Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. And of course, a lot of tributes will be pouring in and we will be seeing them and reading some of them out, everyone. But Arsenal face Bayern Munich tonight. First, welcome back, Sharoy. By the way, we haven't seen you for a while.
It has been a while, and for anyone that's wondering, this is literally because I came straight from the office, yeah? But look, the Arsenal fan base, the wonderful...
You look like you're concluding a big signing for us this summer.
Well, let's see. But the wonderful thing about this channel is it brings on a wide array of fans from the entire AFTV and Arsenal fan base spectrum. And some of our fans have day jobs. So it is what it is.
On his chair, one side's a full suit, one side's a full tracksuit. The opposite ends of the spectrum.
There you go. Whoever says this channel isn't representative, just look at this sofa.
There we go.
Did you come straight from...
Quite literally.
Is that a coffee as well?
It is. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
That's good.
Not least because last night I didn't get the best night's sleep because of how much I was thinking about this game. This is massive.
Fair enough.
It actually kept you up at night.
That and the Villa result kept me up at night. I was literally that meme, you know? Where the girl's looking at the guy saying, I wonder what he's thinking about. It's literally me thinking about how devastating that loss was.
So you can imagine how Arteta must be not sleeping.
There you go.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Sharoy, because we put in what I believe are 11 good performances in 12 in the Premier League, got 11 good results in 12, very good results, because I include that Man City draw as a good result. We have a bad day. But it does feel, understandably so, like the title race might have slipped out of our hands. Just from one bad day. How do you reflect on it? You know, do you reflect on it as, well, we played a team in the top 4, they're very good, bad days can happen? Or do you see it as, yeah, bad days can happen, but it really might have ended our Premier League title race?
I want to begin by saying I don't think it's ended our Premier League title race. I think ultimately, we've all said that as long as we're on the coattails going into the last 5, 6, 7 games, there or thereabouts, that's where you are realistically going to have to be when you're up against a juggernaut like City. We're one result away, okay? So I don't think it's over. That being said, a lot of this talk about 2024 is an attempt at contextualizing that one loss, but for me it removes context because a season doesn't begin on the 1st of January 2024. The reason the Villa result at home is a problem is because of dropping points to West Ham at home. Is because of dropping points to Fulham away when you take the lead. It's because of dropping points to Fulham at home. It's because of dropping points to Tottenham at home. It's because of being 2-0 down at Chelsea and coming out with what some might describe as a jammy 2-2. So if you want to contextualise the result, you do need to look at the whole season. And you can't make that many mistakes, right? We did, in fact, obituaries were being written when we lost to West Ham and Fulham. And at that point on the Supporters Club Turkish, I said that's premature. We just need to make sure that the performance levels increase. And they did. What I will say now, title race isn't over. We can't drop any more points.
No.
That's what's difficult, because the 20, I agree with 100% what you said and the way you said it as well. Our form in 2024 was a must.
Yeah.
It was a must because of those couple of
results at the
back end.
Just to be in it.
It was a must. And you know, having done that now, and now having lost against Aston Villa, it's now a must that we win the rest of our games. And even then, it might not be enough. I personally think if we win the rest of our games, we win the league. Because I think City will drop points in one game. If it's a draw, it comes down to goal difference. Okay, cool, we're ahead at the moment. But I still think we must now go and win the rest of our games. But Sharoy is right, to add that context into it. Because the first half of the season, we did drop points against teams that, we shouldn't have. Listed by Sharoy.
That, and also, I think you raised it in a preview. It was, yes, we were storming it before the international break, but we just about got past Brentford. We just about got past Porto. We then have a draw with Bayern. We then lose to Villa. Is it a pattern emerging of the goals drying up ever so slightly and us conceding a few more? Because those two factors ultimately were why we were so confident before the international break. And I think it was for the Villa preview. You said, well, if it happens again, then it's a behavioural concern. And I think that's where the concern lies. But what better opportunity to put it right?
Arsenal haven't done well as the chased this season. They've done well when they've, almost had the pressure off of, well, someone else has to win their games, we'll do our bit. Look at Anfield, yeah? People laugh at me celebrating the draw at the Etihad. I also celebrated the draw at Anfield because for me, we came through, we remained top of the league, we remained in front of everyone. We followed with 2 defeats.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you're right, that Brentford game, chance to go top knowing the two are going to meet. We looked weird in that game. First half at times fine, Ramsdale makes an error, and then just struggling to find a little bit of rhythm. And then, of course, the pressure of Bayern. Now, can you do it? Because people, at the beginning of the season, no one would have had us favourites for that game. But the way the season panned out, people had us favourites for it. Same with Villa. Can you take advantage, go top after what happened over the weekend before? We've not done very well as you're setting the pace now. And actually, when we just have been that, that smidge behind. I'm basically repeating your point.
No, but you can take it further back. West Ham and Fulham, they come immediately after we're top at Christmas.
Yeah.
That was the first time that season people went, okay, they're where they're meant to be. Bang, bang, 2 results go. Last year, the capitulation happens when people actually suddenly go, this lot might be favourites.
2-0 up at Anfield.
Even the top 4 on the year before. It was when it was quite literally in our hands. And a lot of people were saying, well, you don't even need to go to Tottenham and win. Mm-hmm. That's when it went. So I think there is something to be said for, I get the whole heavy is the head that wears the crown thing, but to feel that weight, you need to actually obtain the crown.
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
And that's what's concerning. But maybe I'm looking into it too much. Maybe it is a case of a few bad days. I don't know.
Well, so how does that benefit us tonight? Because this super chat from Ryan says, has the loss put a downer on this game for you guys? It's not put a downer on this. I have been very good at separating the Champions League from the Premier League for me personally. But what I do think is, if our theory is correct, Arsenal play this game with a little bit more tactical clarity and freedom than we did the home tie Turkish. That actually we actually play with a team that are going there going, it's the Allianz, it's Bayern, let's defend well, let's be compact, and let's wait for our moments and show bravery in moments. And I think that clarity can benefit us.
Yeah, should do. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Tuchel sets it all up, to be honest, because we're expecting that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tuchel goes in again with some of the same, If I just look at Bayern's injuries, and I think that's something we need to capitalise on this time round, because 2 of their 3 scary wingers are not available, Gnabry, Coleman, and their left back not available. Mm-hmm. Saka, listen, for me, I'm looking at Saka in this game, and people shouldn't, say that's not fair. I haven't mentioned Saka after Porto. I didn't mention Saka after City. I didn't mention Saka after first leg against Bayern. I didn't mention Saka after Villa. But these games came after much debate about world class, and I said these are the games. This is the time of the season to do it. Mm-hmm. Now it's not him that's come out and said I'm world class. Yeah. Everyone has to agree with me, so I'm not getting on him. What I'm saying is, I need him to step up. If he's going to be that guy, I need him to step up in this game, and there's a game there for him. Because I don't like the whole comparisons with Foden, because they're not the same player, and I think they can work in the same team together.
I totally agree.
It's just that they're young English talents that play for 2 rival clubs.
It seems forced.
Yeah, but the reality, but when I'm just using Foden now because he's the most recent example I have of moments in the big time. Aston Villa hat-trick. I think it was 1-0 down at that time in that game.
Yeah, 1-1, yeah.
1-1. De Bruyne wasn't on the pitch, Haaland wasn't on the pitch. He scores a hat-trick, against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. 2-1 down, De Bruyne's not on he comes out with a bang off. Now, listen, I'm not opening that debate up because I'm not here for that debate. What I'm saying is those are the moments to cap off consistently good seasons to reach that level of world class where no one's asking, everyone knows. So I really need Saka to step up tonight, and I think without Alphonso Davies there, come on.
Yeah, let me ask you, Laurie, how does Mikel Arteta approach this game? Because the one thing about him is he's set in his ways. Now, I'm not saying he's never proven he can be pragmatic. I think we showed that at the Etihad. But if he believes Arsenal are a better team than Bayern Munich, if he believes that, he won't set up to stop them more than he'll set up to play our football. So what are you expecting from Arsenal? How do you think they'll approach this game?
I'm expecting that he'll go with his tried and tested 4-3-3. I'm also expecting that Bayern, I think the onus will be on them to come and attack us, given the fact that they're the home side, and let's face it, they are the favourites. But for me, it's very simple. It's it's everything. It's all or nothing. Winner stays on, loser goes home. So there might be 2 or 3 game plans within the same game. But at the end of the day, he simply has to get a win tonight.
Do you think Arsenal are missing under Mikel Arteta? People talk about the trophies. Cool. An FA Cup in his first half season. A couple of community shields if you want to sprinkle them in there. But do you think he needs that big away moment? And what I mean by that is he's won at the Bridge, he's won at Old Trafford. But to go and win at Anfield, to go and win at the Etihad, to go and win at the Allianz, if we get Real Madrid next round, if we to do it, or does he need that one win that great sides look back on and talk about? Even when City won their first title, albeit Man United slip up, let them back in it at the end, they had won that season 6-1 at Old Trafford. Do we need that away moment, Shiroi?
I don't think Arteta needs it as much as the players need it.
Yeah.
If I'm being perfectly honest with you. And I say that because Anfield is probably the best example. Mikel Arteta at Anfield has generally got it quite right. We were 2-0 up, didn't do very well after that. And I think this year we went 1-0 up, and then Salah skins up Zinchenko, and the tables turn a bit. But he does something right. People
forget that the year before where we lost 4-0, and I know people see that as we lost 4-0, we were actually playing really well up to a point where then a set piece, an individual error, we capitulated. So tactically there was something there that we got right too.
Yeah, I do feel the reason I bring in the players is because if you're going to take a 2-0 leader and a 1-0 lead at Anfield, chances are the manager actually, the philosophy that he's tried to sort of distill within that team works. Mm-hmm. It's just that there's something that happens where they don't quite get it over the line. And I think if they do get it over the line in one of those major games, then it's something else for them to look back on and say, well, we've done it there. We could do it again. But just very quickly going back to the point about whether Arteta sets up a particular way when he feels as though Arsenal are a better team. I think he would have thought that Arsenal were the better team against Porto, but over both legs we were very deferential.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And we were very pragmatic. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, or the first leg against Bayern, I feel like we overcompensated.
I agree.
We were a team sort of trying to find our feet in Europe. We were really deferential, and people were criticising our attacking prowess against Porto. So let's just put everyone in their half and see what happens. And then you get rinsed. Mm-hmm. So you need to find that balance in Europe, and away in Europe especially. This game fills me with nerves, excitement, most of all, curiosity.
Yeah.
I want to see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see. Shreth says, it's time Arsenal wipe away our tears from past years, massive losses, and win. We are back after years. Bayern are not the same. We are not the same. 3-1 to Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Kevin says, we could have gone 8 points behind Liverpool and coped. Pressure? Paul says, if we lose to the weakest Bayern team, we are done, bro. See, this is what I find funny, yeah? Oh no, Bayern have one slight off year in the Bundesliga. Okay, it's not a slight off year. Leverkusen have battered them really now in that title race. But look at the players they've got. And then I said on a video, when we say something, and you're like, I did not research that. I basically said, look at the money they've put into this team. And I thought, is that right? Because you don't really associate Bayern Munich with spending loads of money. But yeah, they've spent 500 million in the last 5 windows. They have, and they've constantly changed manager. And they have brought in my opinion, the best number 9 in the world. And they have got Sane, Gnabry and Coman and Davis and all these players. So I appreciate they're having an off year, but I don't think, it doesn't destroy my faith in this Arsenal project if we're to get knocked out by Bayern Munich. What does is if we go out with this tepid, weak nature that would just tell me like, once again, you're not handling April. Like the 2 seasons before, where I looked it up, 10 games to go in both Premier League seasons, one chasing Champions League, one chasing the title, 15 points out of 30, identical in both. We can't have another 15 out of 30, point tallies in this season. We just can't. We need to show that the consistency that's got us up to that point can go 2 more months. So for me, I'm ready to learn a lot about the Arsenal team. If it goes to penalties, get knocked out, extra time, they beat you by a single goal. You look at the positives, but you have your disappointment. But I think that the other thing is that we are capable of beating this Bayern team. And if we don't, we'll have to look at why we didn't over 2 legs.
And that's what's the most frustrating thing. With all of these losses, more than capable of beating Villa, more than capable of being all of the teams that we drop points to,
Yeah.
more than capable. And what makes it even more frustrating, remember on your box-to-box with Villa, what's his name?
Luke.
Luke. One of the last things he said, he goes, "It's April, bro. This is when you man are finished." And he said it with such conviction. And I thought, you can't vindicate these people by letting it happen again, because then, they really are right.
Yeah,
That's what Declan Rice, I remember I've quoted it a few times, that's what Declan Rice said himself. If we want people to stop talking like this about Arsenal, they've got to do it.
Yeah.
They've got to do it.
Yeah, totally agree. Abdullah says
Just on that theme as well, I do agree with you guys, and I do think that if we come away from this season empty-handed, history will judge us harshly, in particular the manager, because let's face it, he has had a lot of money to spend. He has been there now, 5, 6 seasons. I think if we don't win one of the two, I do think the fallout will be pretty negative, and a lot of it will be aimed towards Mikel Arteta. Listen, I'm not trying to put extra pressure on him. It's just the truth, isn't it? Because the noise has already started. We all saw the fallout from Sunday was quite harsh, quite brutal, actually.
Well,
I'm glad I wasn't
insane.
a part of that.
I thought a lot of that was insane. Honestly.
I think part of it was feelings of deja vu, part of it was frustration, and a little bit of disappointment thrown in as well. But we can't get away from it. The fallout was quite harsh. Now, personally, I do think the league represents our strongest chance. And I don't think it's still over, because I've been quite consistent in what I've been saying from weeks ago. I said that points will be dropped in the run-in by all 3 teams. I didn't see any of the teams going unbeaten or winning all their games till the end of the season. What I didn't expect was for us to get beaten at home by Villa. I was expecting the points droppings to come maybe against the likes of, say, even Wolves or a Chelsea or a Man United or a Tottenham, you know what I mean? I thought we would secure our home games and it would be on the away games. But hey, the Premier League is a very funny animal. I mean, who would have thought that Liverpool, of all teams, would have lost to Crystal Palace? No one saw that coming. And then we go and lose, and that makes it all the more disappointing, because we've just witnessed Liverpool slipping up. So we're thinking, go in there, beat Villa and it's all good. And then we slip up, so.
Yeah. Abdullah says, I'd start with Zinni, just because I'd like a good sub, like Tomiyasu, to come on. When Sane subs in, Sane will start. Predicting a classic 1-0 to the Arsenal. Abdullah, if you're right that Sane's not starting, then, that does give us incentive to go have a go, but I just still don't think Zinchenko's the answer. Louis says, our set plays, e.g. corners, are not producing goals like they did mid-season. I think if we work on those more, it gives us more options to win games. Brandon says, been watching Arsenal since 2000. It's time to rewrite our European nights. The club, players, fans need this rhetoric to change. I believe. 2-1, let's go. Much love from Memphis. Thank you so much, Brandon. One Dean, he says, big up AFTV, big one tonight. I predicted in December, Jan, that we finished 3rd and exit the quarter-final stage without a top striker. It's simple, prove me wrong. I hope they do prove you wrong, man. Josh says, what is Sharoy's favourite courtroom drama? Do you have one?
Not a courtroom drama, but as a movie, go and watch Primal Fear with Richard Gere. That's incredible.
Well, I haven't seen it.
I thought you were going to say Forever Arsenal.
For courtroom drama, we had that one. Mind you, it might be before your time. 94. O.J. Simpson, he passed away obviously last week.
Vaguely remember that. Vaguely remember that as an infant.
Yeah, can't beat that.
Star Patroller says, yes, he's sent in a super chat saying, any tribute for the big Chelsea fan, Angry Rantman? We did, and of course the very sad news, if you did miss it at the start of this stream, Angry Rantman has passed away, and of course everyone at AFTV sends their best wishes. Really, really sad, and a reminder that things bigger than football. Incredibly passionate Chelsea fan, and at the end of the stream I just want to run through as well some of the tributes that have come in at the beginning of the stream from you lot in the comments. We have seen them all, and some really kind words from people who have worked with him as well. Thomas Slav says, so while we are winning, we say we will drop points, and even if we lose this year and we don't win, we will win in the next years. But now that we lost one game, everyone goes nuts about Arteta after one loss. Let them cook. I get your point. I mean, essentially, what you're saying, Thomas Lav, is I think we all said in the run in Arsenal wouldn't be perfect. So we've had the drop points, and we all prophesied, all expected to happen. And are we going to lose our heads because that one loss has come? I just think we never thought it'd be the home game. I have a feeling watching Arsenal, I use the word clarity, and I don't know if I keep using it because Arteta used it once in a press conference. I have a feeling that away from home, and this could really come back to bite me on the arse. I feel like away from home, Arsenal are just more focused on the task. And at home, there's this kind of like, I don't know, are the fans with us? Are they not? Should we blow this team away? Should we not? You want to respect the team. You plan for the opposition, but you also want to play your own football. I feel like we just look a bit more confused at home. Is it just me, or am I doing too much? Anyone else think that? Especially in pressure games?
I know what you mean, and it makes sense because you probably should be a bit more deferential when you're away from home. But, and I say this with the greatest of respect for the team and the manager, but that can't run.
Yeah.
That cannot run. When you look at all of these wonderful title-winning teams, their home ground is a fortress. The notion of confusion and letting the mood of the fans perhaps dictate the way that you play and not quite being sure about whether you should go or whether you should stay, I mean, that isn't a title-winning credential. So if that is the case, then it needs to stop. And on clarity, I think Arteta used it against Porto because we were 1-0 down going into the second leg. So he said, well, the mission's clear now. Need to win.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that nuanced, because I think we've been pretty good.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know
there have been
there's
some real
the West
shockers.
Ham and,
There have been some real shockers.
There have been, but,
I think our scrappier performances have been at home, though. Again, I don't know if that's confirmation bias, but like, think Liverpool, yeah? We're all over them, and then shit goal to equalise. Like, just a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a Brentford, bit of a mess, and they're back in it. The West Ham, the Fulham, the drop points at home, Tottenham, Jorginho giving the ball away. And then,
Our home form has cost us this season.
I think it has, right? It's not just me.
A fact. It's cost us.
Yeah, away from home.
yeah, but we lost to Fulham away.
But then we dropped points to them at home
We
too.
drew to Fulham at home, we drew to Tottenham at home, we lost to Villa at home, we lost to West Ham at home. That's 6,
Yeah.
that's 10 points there we lost at home. 10 points, we are 2 points behind City. Imagine we recoup the 6 of those 10 points.
On the flip side, they're unbeaten at home, I think, all season. And for a long, long time, I think they just went a calendar year unbeaten at home, I think.
Would have been Brentford last year, wouldn't it?
That was end of 2022. So I think they went the whole of 2023 unbeaten at home. I think they did. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm pretty sure they did. So, that's the difference. You just know you're coming away with nothing at the Etihad. At best a point if you fight for your life. Yeah. But with us, there is a little bit more of a, we might get wrong. On the away from home, I look at the professionalism at Sheffield United, at West Ham, at even Newcastle. We beat Newcastle, 4-0 up, cruising, but ball into the box, will at 4-1. No, it didn't matter. But just, we conceded again. There is something about us that's a bit messier at home, and I hope that I'm right and we see that proven tonight and we are perfect, but you might take that to win. Off Meta Professor says, City fan, Arsenal need leaders with winning experience. Without that on-field guidance, a younger squad can easily second-guess themselves, leading to reduced confidence performances in big moments. Sure, but experience at the right age isn't easy to find. Paul says, it's not one game, bro. It's the worst time to lose. Okay, I think that was talking about the run. Thomas Lav said what James said, but also we have been. So Thomas Lav was replying to what I said. Okay, so he says what James said, but also we have been good because all players on the field run from attack to defence, and with all those 2 per week matches, they're getting tired, energy is lowering, so mistakes can happen. Off Meta Professor again says, I think the lack of experience, confidence is exactly why Arsenal seem to falter in crunch time, and also why City start to thrive. That could absolutely be it. Now, there are rumoured 11s out there, so let me tell you that Tomiyasu apparently starts tonight. That is the rumoured 11, and that it is going to be, again, the rumoured 11 with Gabriel, Saliba, White in the back 4. Jorginho starts with Rice and Ødegaard, Martinelli, Havertz and Saka. What do we think?
Expected lineup, innit? I don't think there's any surprises there. Maybe Jorginho, maybe someone would argue Partey maybe, but even that, it would be a loose argument because Partey hasn't really had the minutes to warrant that. But yeah, Tomiyasu in. I think he should have done that in the first leg, but yeah, it is what it is.
What do you think, sure?
If that is in fact the lineup, at least it demonstrates that he isn't so stubborn, that he's going, okay, you want to cuss me out for Kivior and Zinni, I'm going to put them in again and they're going to show you. There is an element of, okay, now we're going away from home. I know that if we concede 1 early, that could turn into 2 or 3. Zinchenko is probably best used if it's 0-0 or if we're 1-0 up when we need to turn the tide of the game in midfield later on. You know, and ultimately, look, when you're going away to Bayern Munich, solidity first. Everything else after. Everything else after.
I couldn't understand people were saying, well, we've got to win in Munich then. And I was like, yeah, in terms of the tie, but not in terms of the match. I didn't understand this idea that, well, we have to go there and outscore them in the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we are good enough and that should be the aim and the target. But for me, stay in the game first. Respect Bayern, stifle them. Because what annoyed me about the Villa game was they started to get into it and we kept, we kept trying to press, we kept trying to play, but we couldn't, we were losing it, then they were playing around us. Respect that there's another team on the field that are doing something right, stifle them first, and then play your football and earn the right to play again. And
Is it a la Man City then, when we're there?
Exactly. I just felt that in the 2 home games last week, we started really well in both. For 20 minutes against Bayern and for a whole half really against Villa. And the minute those teams got back into it, we never recognised that the game state had been kind of wrestled away from us and we needed to get control of it and respect them and stop them. So I'm going here thinking, first 20 minutes, I don't care if we don't get a shot on their goal, but if we look like it's raining fire on our goal and it's just headed clearances, last minute blocks and we're suffering, that will worry me. I think we need to just settle the tie, almost just pour cold water on it, not make it what the last 6 Champions League games have been, and then slowly get into our
I'm not sure, man. You're talking like our team's mature and got the experience for this stuff. And I know, against City, you could argue we did it, but people could argue end of last season and Aston Villa, Bayern Munich last week, Porto, both legs, could be an indication that this young team still hasn't got it. Because remember, I've always said Arteta's bold to go with this tactic this season. I said it multiple times throughout. To control games the way we have been for a 38-game season plus Europe and other domestic competitions with a young side, I haven't seen it before. So it's bold. It was bold. Do we do the same in this Bayern one, or do we release the shackles a little bit and kind of go for it? Which one, come the 90 or 120, would you be far more accepting of if we was to go out? If we control the game for 119 minutes, don't really create much, and they score in the 120th, or we go for it and we lose 2-1, 3-1 after 90, essentially we're out both ways. But I think going for it, I'd like to see us listen, we're away from home, they are favourites, but they've got injuries in key areas. In the first 10 minutes, if we can show ourselves, then I think we can put them on the back foot.
I haven't given this much thought. I've only been thinking about it whilst you were talking about it. But if we go for it, there is the risk that it's done very early.
Yeah.
Whereas if we don't
Could
go
go
for
both
it in
ways,
that,
though.
I know, but there is. I'd say there's a higher risk that it could be done early than if we try and build a platform and then let ourselves grow into the game. And I say that when we're at home generally and it's 0-0 in the 80th, we all know that. I mean, look, I love the Emirates, right? But it does get a bit nervy. I think we can concede that. Now Bayern have nothing else they can win this year. Manager's job arguably on the line. If it's 0-0 when they're at home, pressure's on them. Nerves can affect these guys too. Maybe not in the same way it affects the kids.
Regardless.
Sorry?
Tuchel, I think he's
Well,
gone
maybe,
regardless, yeah.
maybe. But then the pressure ramps up, and if we've given ourselves the opportunity to grow into the game, that might be when we pounce. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit more conservative in terms of my approach away. But
No, I think that's how we should be. I think ultimately it's about being compact. What I didn't like about last week, everyone was making videos, I nearly made one myself, about us being the best defensive team in the world, because I genuinely believed it. And then I watched us against Bayern. I'm seeing Gabriel at right centre back. I'm seeing Kivior and Zinchenko running in to make clearances. Ben White on the our highest, widest player having to try. And I'm thinking, what's going on here?
too much firefighting.
Just too much, like individual Gabriel will bail us out, Saliba will bail us out, the recovery runs will bail us out. And what we did so well from the end of January to beginning of April was move as a unit. We were compact. If we pressed, everyone pressed. There was if Gabriel had to go all the way to their final third to win that ball back, he'd do it. There was no second guessing it. And what I've seen in the last week is, don't. Jamie Carragher talked about it on Monday Night Football. It's do I, don't I, you don't quite commit, and then you're playing catch up and you're chasing a ball you never get to, then they're trying to chase to recover. It becomes really messy. So whatever we do, we've got to stay compact, but I think that means if you get the ball, progress as a unit, and if you lose it, just get back into a shape. You don't have to win it back immediately. Just drop back into a shape and frustrate Bayern and ask them, what have you got? Because we didn't really do that at the Emirates. We basically gave them a whole third half of the pitch to run into. So it's going to be very interesting what Arteta's approach is, because I don't know how he's going to tackle this. But let's see. Abdullah says, you win, James, Tommy and Sane start. Harry says, do not forget where we have come from. Of course, but let's also not forget who we are as a club. And, you know, we need to show that on this stage. The Best 91 says, weak team for Bayern. We have to take advantage. We'll have a look at it in just a sec. Background says, forget about this game. How fresh does Sharoy... What are you laughing at?
Forget about this game.
Yeah, he says, forget about this game. How fresh does Sharoy look?
Oh, come on. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Off Meta Professor again with another super chat. Thank you. Says, I also think if Arsenal finally get over that hill and win a big title, the whole squad will go up another level. I agree with that. That though scares me as a City fan. Damo says, no, Davis Saka needs to put on a show. Like I said, we'll look at that 11 in just a sec. 40 side says, I just hope we attack on the left and right tonight. First, I can't recall the ball going out to the left wing at all in that first half. Totally agree. We need to get Martinelli in this game. So
Tuchel said it as well.
What
in
did
his
he
presser.
say?
He said they like to build up an attack from the right. Odegaard, Saka, White, not much down the left.
Yeah, come on, man.
Literally said it. You know?
We can't be allowing that.
I don't know whether that's reverse psychology or whether he's just far too candid for his own good.
Yeah.
So, building their 11. Neuer in goal. So this is interesting because De Ligt and Dyer are definitely the centre-backs. Guerrero is in the team, so he'll probably be the left-back, but Mazraoui's there as well. So is Mazraoui going to be their right-back? Kimmich is starting. So could it be Kimmich in midfield with Lima and Goretzka, and then Musiala, Kane, Sane? Maybe that's the team. Maybe it's
Formidable midfield and front three, though, isn't it?
Kimmich, Goretzka, Lima.
What's the
with
front three?
Sane, Kane, Musiala.
I mean, that's top tier.
Strong.
Top tier.
I can't help but think it's a good thing for us to not have that 10 to worry about that floats.
Musiala will still float from the right, I think.
Well, he will, and you imagine Guerrero will still get forward. But yeah,
Or the left.
that's the Bayern team. It's not a weak team, but it's a team that we can get at. Walil says, no, James, could be Mazraoui at left back and Guerrero left wing. So that would be
Kimmich
Musiala
right back.
in the 10. What's that?
So it'd be Kimmich right back
And
then.
Kimmich right back. Mazraoui, okay, being a right footer up against Saka. Who'll forget that Saka does like to go around the outside onto his right foot as well. So maybe Mazraoui this is the better defender of him and
Just do something today, man. Like try, you know, failures, no, there's no problem with that. Not trying, not getting yourself in positions. I mean, you know, Sane last week, he's not having a great season, but Sane took it to us. You know, that's not a winger we mention when we're talking about how many wingers are better than Saka in world football. But Sane turned up last week, turn up this week. I'm not just looking at Saka, our highest paid players out there as well. Looking at him, the midfield lost the battle last week, looking at them. Defensively all over the gaff, looking at them. But we need goals today, and if I'm looking at goals, I'm looking Saka and Havertz in particular.
Yeah, fair enough. Havertz starting up front, back to that centre-forward position. Everyone ultimately happy about that. I would have gone for Jesus personally. Unpopular opinion because people feel he's been very wasteful, and I get it, but I think he's unpredictable. And I don't know if that's a good thing.
He was always going to go with Havertz, isn't it? This manager will always play Havertz no matter what. That's how I feel anyway.
He
So I'm not
definitely goes
surprised
with
at
Havertz
that.
when he comes up against a team that he thinks is going to take it to us, because he sees them as an outball with those two runners. He always does it against, you know, did it in the
And a hard
Community Shield, for
worker.
example. Yeah,
Set pieces.
he's
defender.
the target man up front. Where if you can't play through midfield, you're really camped in. You pop it up. If you win the knock on, then
let's
you've
be
got the
honest
threat,
as
the
well,
wide
as
threat.
much as we appreciate what Jesus brings, he's not been scoring regular goals. So.
He's a better sub for me right now, just based on what I've seen in form.
But
You know, you need
goals
only
win
look at the
games.
last game. I
And he's
understand.
not scored for a while.
All of our nines are better subs. All of them. Jesus, Havertz, Trossard, Eddie.
I actually agree with that.
I mean,
Man-
the thing is, I don't have too much complaints about that team, to be honest. I kind of expected it. The only Martinelli, that's an area for conversation, because although I can understand why he'll start, because I do think Bayern will have more of the ball than us, and I think counter-attacking will probably be our main route to a goal. So normally you think counter-attacking, yeah, man, Martinelli's the man. However, it has to be said that he's not been anywhere near himself, his usual self, in recent weeks, whether that's injury, whether that's loss of form, whether a combination of both. Hopefully he'll get it right tonight. One thing I would say though, if you look at the two games yesterday, the two teams that came through, both came through kind of unexpectedly. I didn't expect PSG to come through against Barcelona.
Red card changed that one.
That did. And also with the Dortmund game, I thought, we know about Atletico's defensive prowess. They came unstuck. So let's hope Arsenal can... Because let's face it, we are underdogs today. I think most neutrals looking at this game will expect that Bayern, the Allianz is a bit of a fortress, even though they've not been great this season.
Not just neutrals. A lot of Arsenal fans.
Yeah, well, I personally believe that, yeah. So if we get... But you know what, I said it, I referenced it earlier. The City game for me gives me a lot of confidence. When we went to City, and we were all being told that, once City apply the pressure, De Bruyne, Haaland, Foden, you lot will fold. We came through it. Okay, it was a draw. I think we're capable of getting a result today, definitely.
All right, we've got a super chat from Emmanuel says, Sharoy, one of the most objective AFTV pundits. Where have you been?
Appreciate it, and I've been at work. Sorry, that's literally the reason. I've just been in the office a lot, but I always love being here, and I will make a conscious effort to get here as often as I can.
Right, it's good to have you, man. It's good to have you. Final super chats, everyone. A reminder of the 11. Brian says, guys, every kickoff, every knockout game has been dramatic. Get ready. That is true. Canadian Guna says, if we lose, James is going to be on the Nimbus 3000.
What is that?
Harry Potter reference.
Oh, right.
It's a
Sorry.
broomstick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not wearing my glasses. Why are you making Harry Potter jokes? All right, everyone. Reminder of the 11 for the game. Raya obviously keeps his place in goal, but Tomiyasu comes in at left back with Gabriel, Saliba and White. Jorginho restored to the midfield with Rice and Ødegaard. Havertz is up front with Martinelli back in the 11 and Saka out on the right-hand side as well. Bayern Munich start with Neuer in goal. Looks like Kimmich will be at right back still with De Ligt and Dyer at centre back. Mazraoui apparently playing left back, people are telling me in the comments, but he is in the 11. So will it be Guerrero out on the left wing with a midfield of Goretzka, Lima, Musiala on the 10 and Sane on the right. Harry Kane starts up front. Reminder, there's another big game going on tonight. The 3-3 draw carries on at the Etihad, and we've just seen on our screen legends walking into the building. I mean, it is star-studded, especially when Real Madrid comes to town. You sort of realise it's a big club.
I just sat there and thought, right, if we win, that's our prize.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and if it's not, it's the team that beat them.
Exactly.
So there we go.
Exactly.
We'll, of course, keep an eye on what is going on between Man City and Real Madrid, everyone. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock UK time, so we'll be back around 7:45 UK time. Do make sure you join in to the AFTV watch on. Download the AFTV Plus app as well, so you can have your say at full time. Win, lose or draw, we will be there to dissect it all. And now I just want to go back to what I talked about at the very start of the show. A lot of you were sending in your lovely sort of tributes to Angry Rantman, who very sadly passed away. I saw the comments, I've saved a few of them here, but a lot of RIPs, a lot of people quoting the famous line, there is no passion, there is no aggression. He really was one of the first people that I remember in this fan media space that has grown massively, and it's incredibly tragic news. Just wanted to share with you just some lines from Tom Overend, a friend of the channel, big Chelsea fan, says an absolutely amazing person, will truly miss him, such a kind and generous man. And Matisse as well, big friend of the channels, of course, Chelsea fan, you see him on the Big Six, working with Total all the time, described him as an entertainer, creator, and above all, a good person. So rest in peace to Angry Rantman. There are things bigger than football, and we just want to send our thoughts from everyone here at AFTV.